everybody, what's up? I'm Emily Paris and welcome back to my channel. Before I get started in today's video, which is going to be an update of my surgery, how things are going, my next surgery, I kind of left my last video open-ended a little bit. It was a vlog style of my surgery, and I wanted to kind of sit down and give you guys an update because I know that it was kind of like left abruptly at the end. Also, secondly, is that a word? Secondly, my channel originally started out, if you're new here, you wouldn't know that I used to do beauty and fashion and vlogs and moving and taking trips and that kind of stuff. Like, I was much more on the beauty side of YouTube, which I really enjoyed, but ever since my life has kind of taken a different direction in itself, I really feel like my channel needed to as well, if that makes sense. So I know that a lot of you guys have actually been wanting me to do some beauty and that kind of stuff because that's why you subscribe to my channel in the first place. So I want to integrate that throughout my channel, not just ostomy and health and that kind of stuff. If you guys have recommendations or videos that you would like to see, leave your requests down below. If you're just a normal gal and just want to see my normal content, I totally get it. Listening to ostomy stuff is pretty annoying, even for somebody who has it. So, without further ado, let's get into what this video is actually about. I'm sitting on the side of the frame and not in the middle, which I know kind of looks silly, but I'm going to be inserting some pictures here. So, yes. So, I had my J-pouch surgery on July 3rd. Since then, I have had a lot of issues. So, throughout my hospital stay, it was pretty shitty. Not trying to, give a pun. I was just in constant pain. I didn't wake up with a pain pump this time, which I was really disappointed about. I think I said that in the video, wow, I'm bummed I don't have a pain pump. Just because it's easier. I'm a wuss when it comes to pain, and I'm very scared to be in pain again, especially after the traumatic experience of getting my colon removed. I'm just really scared of any sort of pain. And so it basically just lets you give yourself pain medication to a certain extent. Your doctor controls how much you get with each press, how many presses you can get, either every 6 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes. It just depends on the doctor and your surgery and your needs. So I was bummed that I didn't have one. So then I woke up with these, an epidural, which I'll put a picture in again of the little cords that were going into my body, but one side wasn't working at all. I could feel everything on that one side, and I told them, and it was dripping. My side was wet, and I was bleeding a lot. And I was like, I'm soaked. And they're like, oh, you're probably just sweaty. And I was like, no, this thing is leaking. They weren't listening to me. And then a lot of the time, so they were giving me Dilaudid because I'm allergic to morphine, so they were giving me Dilaudid every 4 hours. And right on the dot at 4 hours. Even before that, I would be so uncomfortable and so much pain, not even moving. That incision down there, it's like a C-section incision. That incision, it was just so sore and so painful. And so I was just in a lot of pain. One of the nurses ended up giving me, I think it's called Toradol, and it's like a Tylenol, extra strength, and that helped a little bit more. Toradol with the Dilaudid helped a lot, but then nobody else did that after her shift. So during my hospital stay, I was really pissed off because I was just kind of disappointed in the lack. For those of you who don't know, I went to the University of Cincinnati, Westchester, which I don't want to talk bad about them, but I was really disappointed in my experience, and I've talked to a PR person since then, but the ostomy nurses just didn't know a lot, or not the ostomy nurses, I'm sorry, the nurses on the surgical floor didn't know a lot about ostomies, and that was really disappointing. My biggest piece of advice at that point is you have to be your own advocate. If you feel like you don't trust somebody to do something or they don't know what they're doing, you have every right to ask for somebody else. There are ostomy nurses in these surgical units that are specialized in wound ostomy care. They're called WOC nurses, wound ostomy care. And this is their job, and a lot of the time they're really willing to come in and help you and give you all the guidance you need. Especially after this one, I was just really confused, but I also kind of knew what I was doing. I knew what a wafer was. I knew what powder, paste, spray, barrier wipes, I knew what all of that was, so it wasn't as overwhelming. But had this been my first experience with an ostomy, whoa. So on day 3, they came in and took out the bar, which wasn't painful at all. I was really nervous. I kind of just looked away, and I was like, did you do it? And he was like, oh yeah, it's already out. You're already cleaned up. You're good to go. Let's put a wafer back on you. So that was fine. They did take out the drain, which you can see in that last video, and that was really painful. It literally, so they had like a little catheter drain inside my lower left, like laparoscopic incision. It literally felt like my surgeon just like, and like ripped it out of me. Like I literally was like, ah, ouch. Like I think I like yelled. And so that was really painful. But then, right after my surgery, I'm not quite sure why, but they gave me Dulcolax. And I was always told that an ostomy patient should never be given Dulcolax. And like I understand for normal surgery patients, if you go in under any surgery, it takes your bowels a while to move and stuff because any type of like opioid pain medication, anesthesia just slows down your bowels and can make you constipated. But when you have an ostomy, it's pretty much impossible to get constipated unless you have a blockage. And so I didn't know why they were giving me the Dulcolax. So then I was pooping like crazy. Like I put out 1 liter in an hour. Like me and my mom were like, oh my God, like this is nuts. So we take me off the Dulcolax. They ended up giving me Fibercon and Imodium, but they were like pumping me full of it to try to slow it down. So then I get discharged that Friday. My surgery was on Monday, July 3rd. I was discharged that Friday, July 7th, I believe it was. That for dinner we had Chinese, so I had rice and chicken, or not Chinese, Indian. We had rice and chicken, and I was sitting on the couch and I was kind of like, I'd only taken a couple bites, and I was like, I kind of have a little bit of heartburn, and like it was kind of coming up in my throat, and my stomach was really upset. So Graham was at my house at this point, and he's like, let's go upstairs and lay down, and like maybe you're just upset because it's your first day home, and you know, you're off the IV pain medication, so let's just kind of see. So my stomach was really, really upset, so I took a Dilaudid, 3 Tylenol, and I think that that's what I took. Oh, and a Zofran, because I was really nauseous, and I was like, oh, I'm really not feeling good. So I'm laying down, and it's just getting worse and worse. Like I literally feel so full and just like bloated and like I'm gonna explode. So I come downstairs and the pain is getting worse and worse, and my mom's like, here, sit up, because I felt like I was gonna throw up, and this is Friday night, like late at night. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna throw up. And my incision is killing me too, because I'm like getting up and down, up and down. I couldn't even like stand up to get to the car. Like I had to like hobble to the car, and it would kind of come and go. But when the pain was there, I had to breathe through it. So it turns out I ended up having a full blockage. I ended up vomiting up stool, which was disgusting. I went to the hospital on base, which is where I had my colectomy done, and I just was like in a lot of pain, and they ended up giving me like fentanyl, Dilaudid. I think they ended up giving me a shot of ketamine, which I was like, isn't this what they give horses? Like, but I mean, they were doing everything they could, but at the end of the day, they needed to move me back down to UC. So they moved me back down to UC, which is University of Cincinnati, and which is about 40 minutes away, by an ambulance. Oh my God, this is the most bumpy like ambulance of my life, which I've never been in an ambulance before, but it was torture. I was like screaming the entire way down. I'll insert some pictures here. I don't have video of me yelling, but I'll insert some pictures. And then so we get down there, they give me the pain medication, and the doctor knew. One of the residents was like, I am so sorry, because he knew what he had done. Not on purpose, it wasn't vindictive, it wasn't like any type of wrongdoing on his part. He just kind of knew that the Imodium was a bad idea. So I ended up staying in the hospital for 2 days then. I go home, things are okay, but then my stoma, the hole, once again, pictures here, was at like skin level on the bottom. So you're looking at a stoma like this. Rosie's hole was right here. This stoma's hole was on the bottom of it. And so he was pooping directly onto my skin. My skin was on fire. There were multiple times over this last month and a half where I've had to go into the ER because the pain is so excruciating. And you can see just by these pictures that my skin is wrecked. And I never had a leak, I never had problems, anything with Rosie, my end ileostomy, and this was just like torture. Like I had no idea. And Dr. Snyder had given me some insight into like, yeah, a loop ileostomy is gonna be harder to deal with, but he didn't exactly say this is gonna be torture, you're gonna hate your life, and it's gonna empty directly onto your skin and burn holes into your skin. I wish I would have known that prior, because I probably wouldn't have done this surgery. Anyways, it's irrelevant at this point. So we finally get a convex wafer. I was leaking every day too, sometimes like twice a day. So we finally get a convex wafer on, and that seemed to help a little bit. I was able to get like 48 hours wear out of it, which was okay. So it was better than like 12 or 16 hours. So that was okay. So then I started having this really bad pain all around my stoma. Like, here's my stoma just all around in my abdomen, and I'm thinking like, this is a hernia, like something is wrong. And I kept telling them something is wrong, something is wrong. I went into the ER on base down at Westchester so many times, and something was just wrong, and they would do CT scans like, no, everything looks fine. Eventually Graham and I were down at his house, and the pain was so bad I was like vomiting. And I was like, something is wrong, we have to go into the hospital. So we go in or whatever, they do a CT scan. This is super late at night. We go in, we do a CT scan, and they found blood clots in my liver. So you have 8 sections of your liver, 4 on the right, 4 on the left. 4 of the right side, 3 out of the 4 sections in my right side of my liver were getting 0 blood flow because of the blood clots. So, and then in addition to that, I had an ovarian cyst, which was probably contributing to a lot of the pain too, because the cyst was on the ovary that's right under where my stoma is inside. So they admit me to the hospital. I'm on constant heparin drip to kind of see if we can get things moving. And then obviously to monitor me, because when you have a portal vein thrombosis, like blood clot in that portal vein, it's really dangerous because the portal vein is a really big vein. And so we kind of got that under control. I was sent home on Xarelto. Being on Xarelto, you have to be really careful not to get bruised or cut or anything. Well then, as my luck would have it, I started my period. And for those of you ladies out there, you know that 5 Super Plus tampons and a pad from noon to 4 is a lot. Like normally I have to change my tampon between noon and 4, never. Like it takes me 8 hours to fill up a regular tampon, let alone a Super Plus. So plus my cramps were unbearable. I was like rolling around in pain, and then, which I normally don't have cramps, so it's probably like I was being a wuss. But then also I was feeling really weak, so I called and I was just like, hey, like I just want to let you know that I'm having a lot of bleeding. Like I know that it's kind of normal, but this is a lot for me. I am also already anemic and have pretty low blood pressure. So they were like, yeah, come on down, let's just check your platelets. So all my veins are shot, as I'm sure most of yours probably are too. So they ended up, after 9 sticks, which were torture because they kept having to wiggle the needle in there and it was just super painful, a doctor ended up getting one like up here, which my PICC line was here. Today is August 22nd and my surgery is scheduled for August 28th. So when they called me, she was like, okay, so you have your follow-up with Dr. Snyder on August 17th, or today's not August 22nd. Oh my God, it is. So you have your follow-up with Dr. Snyder on August 17th, and then, but we want you to come in before, on the 14th, to do an high-pick enema test, which a high-pick enema, basically what they do is they put a little tube, like a little catheter in your rear end and pump water and contrast in it really slow. It's not like they're like pushing it into your pouch, but then in real time, a radiologist, not like a radiology tech, but like a doctor, looks at the x-ray in real time to see how your pouch fills, if there's any leaks, that kind of stuff, because obviously they rather you leak water and contrast versus poop, which is going to make you go septic and potentially die. Like it's really serious if you go septic. So basically, everything went really well. The high-pick enema wasn't uncomfortable at all. I mean, it was a little weird having a tube in your butt after nothing more than like a water consistency going in and out of your butt for the last like 8 months for me. Some people this is years. So it is kind of weird and kind of uncomfortable, but it had to be done. And the whole time I was laying on the table just thinking, no more bag, no more bag. Like that's just what I kept thinking, which, you know, kind of kept me positive. So then okay, so I'm on the phone and I'm scheduling the high-pick enema, and then she says, okay, depending if all the test results go well, we have you booked for August 28th. And I said, for what? And she's like, for your surgery. And I said, I'm sorry, like what surgery? and she goes, your ostomy takedown. I started bawling. She was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just didn't know that's when it was. And she was like, oh my God, like, I thought that they had told you. And I said, no, I thought I had to wait until October. And, you know, I'm just miserable with this ostomy. I've just had a lot of problems, and I know I kind of sped through them quickly, but they've been really exhausting, and I'm just really tired, and my incision still hurts, and I'm just ready to be done. And so, I mean, and I say done, but I'm not really done with this. It's just the next step in the process.
Health, colon, and rectal surgery. Calling to remind Emily of an appointment scheduled.
Okay, so, like I said, what was I saying? Oh, so then I'm just like getting hysterical, and she's like, no, it's okay, like, I thought that they told you, I'm so sorry. And I said, no, I'm excited, like, and then I just cried that whole morning. And even since then, every time, and I don't want to get into it because I don't want to cry right now, but every single time that I think about it, I just get very emotional. I am very, very nervous. I'm really just like anxious for the process, but really excited to not have a bag anymore. My biggest worry is that I'll regret having done the surgery, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give it a year. And if at the end of a year I'm still genuinely unhappy, I think I'm going to go back to an ostomy and just have an end ileostomy, and that'll be that. And I don't think that it's the end of the world. It's, you know, this is my life now, and, you know, that's that. So I hope that this gives you guys a little bit of insight into what's been going on and why I didn't post my J-pouch surgery video until so far after my surgery date. I still haven't gone back to work. I can't do a lot of stuff, but that's okay because the light at the end of the tunnel is coming. The sun keeps like setting and rising, like it keeps going in between clouds, so it's kind of creating some funny lighting. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, let me know down below what kind of non-health ostomy disease related videos you guys want to see. But I did actually create an ostomy Instagram. It's called @RollinColon, which I think is kind of funny. So you guys go give that a follow. If you want to keep updated on all of my ostomy stuff, you can there as well, or follow just my regular, what is this here doing? Follow my regular Instagram, which is @EmmyParis. I always have those linked down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten from you guys. If you have any questions or anything, like I said, leave a comment down below, and then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. So thanks so much, and I will see you guys next time.